in the construction of the Abuja, Abuja Kaduna down to Maradi rail line. We saw a lot of, Nigerian youths, being shown the tracks by the Chinese counterpart. But how do we elevate that?
It's not to be like the Swedes people. It is usually said that the Swedes people have become so lazy because they are so rich. You don't need to work to be rich in Switzerland. You don't need to, do nothing. Everything is there because of the quantum of wealth, the Swiss people have. So what we need to do is, this issue of colonial melancholy that we've been spoiled by the West through what is known as foreign aid. So we're always recipient of foreign aid, while the West had continued to give us this particular aid. And Africans have now become dependent on foreign aid to actually come to us. So that has actually exacerbated the issue of development crisis. And that has continued to make us indebted, especially World Bank, IMF. Why? Because we wanted everything to come to us. And these leaders who received this particular foreign aid, they squandered the money collected as loan. So this has created a vicious circle. So what we need to do, to my little surprise, is that why don't we sit as African leaders? For the first time, you have Vision 2010, Vision 2020, all had come and passed, but there is no tangible, outcome from these particular visions. The issue of African Union Agenda 2063, we are hoping the Africa we want. This is a vision, the Africa we want. But it's not just a matter of the ambience of the Africa we want without really working toward achieving the Africa we want. So why are African leaders seated, not coming up with policy inertia, a rigorous, revolutionary policy inertia, to actually change the existing status quo of Africa and Africans? Remember, it was President Xi Jinping who came up with this latest initiative of Africa's agricultural modernization, Africa's industrialization, and talent cultivation. So that is why I say China is a messiah, because it's trying to take us...
Again, just before you continue, I like for you, I just want to point out that the word messiah for you is subjective and context dependent. So let's not use messiah to describe the role of China in this bilateral relationship. Yes, China is very strategic to Nigeria, but China cannot be a messiah because Nigeria also has markets. China
would we say China is a pathfinder instead?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
It's a pathfinder instead.
And if you may, Clara,
Claire.
we have what we call development cooperation. And in development cooperation, partners assist each other.
Precisely.
To actually bridge up the gap in order to achieve the goals of development. So, if you fail to achieve it independently, somebody comes to help you achieve your goal. Is salvaging you from the fiasco you are facing and failure to achieve the goal of development, which is your main objective. So that is why the application of the concept of messiah. But let me not go back to that particular end. Those indispensable areas of development, from the mercantilist argument, is that you must be able to produce. And if you are able to produce, you must be able to export. Not even being able to export, you must be able to export more than you import.
Precisely.
So if you don't export more than you import, meaning there is trade imbalance and there is economic problem in terms of your trade
That's
and
why
production.
I'm asking, what do we do what do we do? We don't have, what do we do to protect our local, manufacturers? Because we know that the trade relation between Nigeria and China will increase and strengthen from 1.61 billion now, to what we are importing from China.
Yeah, it's
know?
not protecting the local manufacturers first, because what we are doing is not enough, because we don't produce the food that suffices Nigeria's population.
Okay.
So it's to aggressively and massively embark on a rigorous industrialization process, which we cannot do it alone. China did not industrialize alone. It had to copy from US, from Canada, from Japan, from what Serki said. So therefore, China are partners. That is why the concept of jointly advancing modernization.
Exactly.
What you cannot achieve alone, definitely you must have partners with whom you can actually achieve that. Apart from that, talent cultivation. Nigerians and Africans are highly talented. There is the need to support and promote this particular talent, because it is this particular talent that envisages innovation as well as creativity. It's through this particular creativity as well as partnership and collaboration we'll be able to create these particular basic machines, industrial machines. You cannot industrialize without these particular machines.
And also human machines too. We have a young generation who are, you know, hungry to learn.
Yeah.
Hungry to adapt to changes. They do it so fast that you wonder where they get it. You know, our generation were a little bit slow, but these ones are going very, very fast, and they want to acclimatize, they want to adapt to changes and, you know, things happening around the world. You meet a young Nigerian telling you that I intend to do this in the next 10 years. You know, he has ambition to do that.
Then we need to promote that and develop that.
Yes.
Sorry, one major area is that this is the talent that we need to cultivate, not through this particular misleading social investment programs, giving people 10,000, 20,000 naira.
That's giving the fish and not teaching how to fish.
Yes, that will not salvage our economy and national independence. We need to develop a policy inertia, a policy framework that deliberately intend to develop this particular young talent, who will in turn industrialize, create industries, create machines, so that we can be able to produce and sell and compete, you know, within the international market, by not relying on the goods that come from other places. But remember, we must actually interdepend. There are things that we cannot produce, we must get from China. Yes. There are things that are not available in China, which if we have the capacity to produce or provide, China is ever ready to accept it. So this is the only way.
Yeah.